You could recollect the large wave scene from Interstellar, demonstrating the way that strong and gigantic regular occasions can be. The tidal waves in the film were taller than any mountain on the planet. Despite the fact that that is simply in films, we truly do have genuine waves on our planet, and they can make a ton of harm whole networks. These occasions are associated with how the world's plates move, particularly in regions called subduction zones. One of these, called the Cascadia Subduction Zone, going from South Canada to North California, could be extremely perilous for the Pacific Northwest. Anyway, what's the significance here for individuals living close by? Furthermore, how are they preparing for something like this? Watch this video to find the solutions you are searching for. Cascadia Subduction Zone. The Cascadia Subduction Zone is a geographical area of interest off the west coast with the potential for strong seaquakes. To start with, what's a subduction zone? Envision two gigantic plates crashing underneath the sea. One plate is constrained beneath the other in a cycle called subduction. Cascadia is one of them. It is where the Juan de Fuca plate is jumping underneath the North American plate. This zone extends from Northern California to southern English Columbia. This distance adds up to around 800 miles, tantamount to the length of around 13,333 football fields arranged start to finish. Things being what they are, the reason doesn't matter. Subduction zones are focal points for seismic action, causing seaquakes or submerged quakes. These occasions can set off tidal waves as the ocean bottom movements. All over the planet, there are a few subduction zones, and one of the most notorious is the Ring of Fire, surrounding the Pacific Sea. This district is known for its high seismic movement level. What sets the Cascadia Subduction Zone is its true capacity for a gigantic quake, equipped for causing broad pulverization. Researchers caution that pressure is developing along the Cascadia Subduction Zone, and when delivered, it could result in a megathrust quake. The last such occasion happened in 1700, and researchers accept these tremors have a repeat time period hundreds of years. We may be nearly one of the deadliest cataclysmic events of all time. Researchers say in the event that a major seismic tremor hits, there could be serious results. The ground shaking would harm structures and put individuals at serious risk. Colossal tidal waves could flood beachfront regions on account of the quake under the ocean. The land could change, and there could be delayed repercussions which are really shaking after the fundamental tremor. This could create enormous issues for significant things like streets and scaffolds. Fixing everything would cost truckload of cash, and it could require a long investment. Nature could be impacted as well with avalanches and changes to where creatures live. For individuals, it very well may be truly intense, passing on their homes and sorting out some way to remain safe. To prepare, researchers and networks are cooperating. They're making structures more grounded, setting up advanced notice frameworks, and arranging how to help individuals, assuming that it works out. Everybody is attempting to be prepared so that in the event that a major tremor comes, they can keep individuals safe and restore things once again as fast as could really be expected. Take ground shaking, for example. It is a consequence of the extreme arrival of energy brought about by the unexpected development of structural plates. The Juan de Fuca plate, subducting underneath the North American plate, gets locked because of contact. At the point when the pressure defeats this contact, it prompts a quick arrival of gathered energy, bringing about seismic waves that spread through the earth. This seismic energy makes the ground shake, and the force of shaking can fluctuate across various locales. Regions nearer to the focal point experience more grounded shaking, while those farther away may in any case feel critical quakes. The term of shaking relies upon elements like the size of the quake and the separation from the source. To prepare for such seismic dangers, networks are doing whatever it takes to decrease the effect of ground shaking. They're ensuring structures are sufficiently able to deal with tremors by keeping severe guidelines. Early admonition frameworks surrender individuals ahead, allowing them to seek shelter and remain safe while shaking begins. Individuals are additionally finding out about what to do during a tremor. By getting the message out on security and empowering everybody to be prepared for crises, networks are assisting people with feeling more ready. Spans are intended to major areas of strength for B. Explicit tremor guidelines and administrations likewise consider a potential debacle. Certain individuals are preparing as well. They're sorting out which regions are most in danger, arranging the most ideal ways for individuals to get to somewhere safe and secure and ensuring crisis administrations are prepared to rapidly help. Examination with the San Andreas issue. While considering the expected risk of a Cascadia quake, drawing correlations with verifiable occasions similar to the 1994 tremor along the San Andreas shortcoming in Southern California is fundamental. In 1994, an extent 6.7 seismic tremor struck the Northridge region, causing huge harm. It brought about the deficiency of 57 lives and left north of 8,700 individuals harmed. The effect was significant with imploded structures, harmed framework, and broad interruption to day-to-day existence. Presently, taking a gander at the Cascadia Subduction Zone, the potential for a lot bigger seismic tremor exists. Researchers guess that Cascadia could encounter a megathrust seismic tremor with a greatness surpassing 9.0. This size is fundamentally higher than the 1994 San Andreas occasion, showing an arrival of energy a few times all the more remarkable. The peril lies in the actual quake as well as in the going with waves that could influence seaside areas. The 1994 San Andreas quake, while serious, didn't produce tidal waves on the scale that a Cascadia occasion would be able. The blend of extraordinary ground shaking, expected torrents, and the wide geological reach of the Cascadia Subduction Zone amplifies the possible effect, making it a more impressive and testing situation for readiness and reaction. While rare, quakes as imposing and pulverizing as those expected from the Cascadia Subduction Zone have happened ever. For example, the latest megathrust seismic tremor in the Northwest occurred in January 1700, somewhat a while back. Geographical proof recommends that such critical seismic tremors have rehashed something like multiple times over the most recent 3,500 years, demonstrating a common time frame to 600 years. We just figured out quite a while back. Shockingly, we just learned about the Cascadia Subduction Zone something like quite a while back. Before that, nobody realized about this separation point that could lead to large issues on the West Coast. Anyway, how did researchers sort it out? The Cascadia shortcoming is interesting on the grounds that it doesn't cause more modest quakes than we normally feel. Not at all like different spots where tremors happen frequently, Cascadia remains silent. During the 1970s, researchers saw it since it's right along the Ring of Fire, a gathering of volcanoes and issues around the Pacific Sea Plate. Then they contemplated whether Cascadia at any point brought any hardship. During the 1980s, researchers found a phantom woodland in Washington. This woodland was cleared out at the same time by a surge of seawater, dated between August 1699 and May 1700. Japan's records recounted one more piece of the story. They had a strange tidal wave on January 27, 1700, which matched the date of Cascadia's huge quake. Around 9 o'clock the evening of January 26, 1700, an enormous tremor occurred, making the land sink, suffocating backwoods and making a tremendous wave. A big part of the wave arrived at the northwest coast in around 15 minutes, and the other half required 10 hours to arrive at Japan. Presently, realizing that this has occurred before makes us stress over what's to come. The possibilities of one more large tremor by 2050 are around 1 out of 3. Thus, researchers continue considering and preparing to shield individuals from any future issue with Cascadia. Tips for endurance. In present-day Cascadia, where individuals have little involvement in torrents, looking for direction for endurance becomes vital. While many might trust that the huge one, a Greatness 9 tremor, may be the fundamental danger, the record from Malin, Chile, shows an alternate illustration. Individuals there endure the greatest quake at any point estimated in 1960. However, the genuine risk came later with the tidal wave that followed. History shows significant examples. In the first place, getting through the tremor is probable for some. However, the genuine difficulty starts with the primary torrent waves. Regardless of whether a quake ensure a wave, going to higher ground away from the coast and trusting that things will settle may be the most secure game plan. The need is saving lives, not belongings. In the sad occasion that the tremor sets off a torrent, anticipating various waves, with the following one possibly bigger is essential data. Waves can keep going for a really long time, representing a lengthy danger. Researchers have contributed fundamentally to how we might interpret waves. In a striking occurrence in 1960, Seismologist Jerry Eaton and his group attempted to beat the clock to quantify the Chilean wave in Hilo, Hawaii. Past dangerous torrents had struck the region, making estimations fundamental for distinguishing in danger areas. They noticed the waves at the Wailuku Stream extension, taking note of the fluctuating water levels as various torrent waves hit. Here is the full story of the estimations. On May 22, 1960, around 10 p.m., seismologist Jerry Eaton and 4 companions assembled at the U.S. Land Studies Hawaiian Fountain of Liquid Magma Observatory on the island of Hawaii. They pressed cameras, notepads, electric lamps, and estimating tapes into a portage station cart for a 30-mile ride to Hilo, wanting to gauge the 1960 Chilean tidal wave expected around 12 p.m. The explanation for this work was Hawaii's set of experiences of dangerous waves from Chile in 1837 and 1877, as well as one from the Aleutian Islands in 1946 that killed 98 individuals in Hilo. Eaton and his group checked with the police in Hilo, then set up on the Wailuku Stream extension on Hilo Strait. They realized the past scaffold was obliterated in the 1946 Aleutian torrent. The new extension turned into their perception post to quantify the water level. For good measure, they arranged a speedy run to higher ground. Not long after 12 p.m., the no problem transcended ordinary, showing the main rush of the tidal wave. The subsequent wave, at 12:46 a.m., washed under the extension at a level 9 feet better than average. By 1 a.m., the water dropped to 7 feet beneath ordinary. Eaton heard a dismal commotion, a far-off thunder, from Hilo Narrows. After 2 minutes, they saw a surge of water pushing toward the city. The wave arrived at a level of 20 feet, stirring things up around town at an almost upward point. After it passed, Eaton and his group got back to the scaffold to record water levels during a few more tidal wave waves. Their first-hand experience helped improve our insight into tidal wave conduct and the significance of convenient clearing to higher ground for well-being. All in all, consistently remember that readiness can have a significant effect during testing times. Whether it's realizing clearing courses or having a first aid pack, going to these straightforward well-being links can be a genuine lifeline. Alright folks, this video ends here. Thanks for watching. What might you like us to cover straight away? Go ahead and share your contemplations in the remarks beneath and remain tuned for our next video. I'll see you soon on the channel.